This is World War II. Oh, wait a minute. Is he Eminem? If he had one shot, one opportunity to seize everything he ever wanted, one moment, would you capture it or just let it slip? Meet Eminem. Oh, no. Vasily Zaitsev, the best sniper from World War II Russian army. He never let any shot slip, and he seizes every opportunity until this dude shows up, the best sniper from Germany. And this is Eminem at the gate. Wait, no. Enemy at the gate movie recap. A battle between the best sniper from Russia and Germany. The movie starts with our main character Vasily Zaitsev being tutored as a child by his grandfather on how to hunt a wolf with a sniper. While that happens, the wolf launches an attack at a nearby horse, which was intended as bait, while Vasily's grandfather shouts at young Vasily to shoot. The scene shifts to a bunch of soldiers on a train. The movie is set in 1942 in the last years of World War II, when Nazi Germany had launched their preemptive invasion of Asia by going through Soviet lands. Their advance is held back by the soldiers in the Soviet city of Stalingrad, with Russia deploying more soldiers to Stalingrad to stop the Germans. Vasily was one of those soldiers sent. He is on the train when he sets eyes on a beautiful lady, Tania. They lock eyes for a brief moment before Vasily looks away. I think she also thought he was Eminem. Tania eventually leaves the train and the rest of the soldiers get sent to the Stalingrad camp. There they meet a rather rowdy chain of command. They board boats to go across a small river only to get assaulted by German aircraft, during which some of the soldiers tried to flee but were gunned down by their superiors. The soldiers finally reach the camp and some of them are handed rifles. Vasily doesn't get one. He only gets bullets. The commanders bid the new soldiers to charge at the opposing Germans, and they do, only to immediately get wasted. The remaining soldiers, seeing that they were about to die, decided to retreat, but the Russians opened fire on them as well. Apparently, there is no such thing as defeat. Oh, and if you think that's bad, trust me, it gets even worse. We eventually cut to a sea of dead soldiers and a car carrying flyers comes out of nowhere and gets blown up by the Germans. The driver's name is Danilov, and he's a political officer in the Russian ranks. He calls out and hides in a fountain filled with dead men. And here they come. The Germans double tapping the bodies in the fountain, missing him by inches, then drive off. It's then that Danilov meets Vasily, who is also hiding in the bodies. Danilov attempts to kill some German officials, one of whom was attempting to take a bath. Because even in wartime it's important to keep clean. Vasily insists that he give him the rifle. Danilov obliges, and Vasily goes for all of them and successfully kills every single one of the German officials neatly, and they escape. It's revealed that Danilov writes for newspapers concerning the war, and he writes a piece on Vasily's heroic deed. Not long after, the base gets a visit from new commander Nikita Khrushchev, and he expresses his displeasure with the old commander's methods and urges him to kill himself, which he does. He then berates the political officers of the base and asks them for a way to boost morale so more soldiers can bravely lay down their lives. There are a lot of grievous suggestions, but Danilov suggests that they instill courage and patriotism by telling good stories of bravery and sacrifice and giving examples for men to follow, which he agreed upon. Danilov starts to write about Vasily in the newspaper as an excellent marksman and a Soviet hero, making Vasily famous. Next we see Vasily crouched in a sniper position taking out a few Germans. He gets spotted by a young fanboy named Sacha, who takes him to his mother's house where he meets the mother, Miss Filipov. She's happy to see him and claims that she prays for Vasily. They're soon joined by Danilov, who brings Vasily fan mail and tells Vasily what to write in reply. While that's happening, Tania, the girl from the train who happens to be the neighbor of Miss Filipov, drops in and meets Vasily. And she thinks he looks familiar, and of course, he does. There's a little bit of sexual tension as they get introduced, and funny thing is, Danilov also seems to be interested in her. Well, a cute girl in the war is like a diamond. Tania reveals that she studied German at university, while Danilov and Vasily resume writing the letters. The scene cuts to a decorated German soldier arriving at the German camp. His name is Major Koenig, and he meets the German commander, and it's revealed that he is a sniper sent to take out Vasily Zaitsev. We cut to Vasily in another mission, where he is told to snipe a guy in a building. He does that successfully, and Vasily leaves the soldier behind to go retrieve the tag of the soldier he thinks he killed. Meanwhile, Danilov convinces Tania to come work as an operator at the base since she speaks German. although it's clear he has other things in mind if you know what I mean. Then we join Vasily and his teammate, and it turns out that he is walking into a trap set by Koenig. Koenig kills the soldier Vasily left behind and kills the other soldier with him while the building they're in gets bombed by aircraft. Thanks to the smoke from the aircraft, Vasily escapes. It's revealed that Sacha is responsible for cleaning the shoes of Major Koenig, and Sacha tells him all about Vasily. Vasily meets up with Danilov and informs him of the sniper, and that's when he found out that Koenig was here to kill him. Danilov introduces him to Kolikov, a soldier who studied under Koenig before the war and is sent here to help Vasily kill Koenig. So Danilov gives Vasily a good pep talk. They proceed to have a meeting with the Soviet commanders, and Khrushchev basically puts more pressure on Vasily to kill Koenig. It's then we get a flashback to the wolf hunting scene, and we find out that Vasily didn't kill the wolf as we initially thought. His grandfather did. He was too scared to pull the trigger. Turns out he doesn't work well under pressure. The next day, Vasily, Kolikov, and another soldier set up a trap for Koenig by taking out a communication line. And whenever anyone tries to fix it, Kolikov kills the repair guy via a sniper to attract the attention of Koenig. It works, except Koenig doesn't fall for it. The third soldier that was with Vasily gets captured by the Germans on his way to bring soup, and Koenig uses him as bait. Kolikov ends up killing his comrade while giving away their position. This was a part of their trap, to make Major Koenig give up his position, but it doesn't work. So they decide to retreat, not knowing that Koenig had set a trap for them. Koenig ended up killing Kolikov through a wide opening when he and Vasily were attempting a jump. Oof, this dude is sharp. Vasily is extremely spooked. Meanwhile, Commander Nikita puts more pressure on Danilov to deliver results on Koenig's death, and Danilov makes more promises. Danilov meets up with Tania, who is now working as an operator, and brings her a big fish, because you don't get a girl by bringing in flowers during wartime. And Tania proceeds to tell him a little about herself and how her dad taught her how to shoot. And she asks to be reassigned to the battlefield. Danilov reunites with Vasily, and Vasily voices his fear of Koenig. But Danilov reassures him by saying that they have a spy on the inside, so he'll always know where Koenig is going to be. He then asks Vasily to talk Tania out of getting reassigned. Vasily tries by telling her about the horrors of war. She then confesses that she just heard that her parents were killed by the Germans. Vasily obliged her request by giving her Kulikov's rifle. We then cut to Koenig bribing Sacha with beans and chocolate for information. He tells him where Vasily is going to be, and Koenig proceeds to set up a trap. Unknown to Koenig that Sacha is working as a double agent. He informs Vasily of Koenig's position and tries to do a sneak attack on Koenig by using pipes. But he ends up making a lot of noise, and Koenig detects him and switches positions, setting a new trap. As soon as Vasily and his teammate emerge from the pipes, Koenig opens fire, wounding Vasily's teammate. Vasily hides but accidentally drops his rifle. Vasily forces his teammate to retreat while he tries to reclaim his rifle but fails. The building soon gets filled with glass shards, which help Koenig to see Vasily visibly. Vasily's teammate returns to the base and informs Danilov and Tania of the situation. Tania runs to Vasily's aid. She finds Vasily, and he, though not too pleased, tells her to use a shard of glass to reflect the sunlight to disrupt Koenig's vision. This works, and Vasily grabs his rifle and shoots Koenig in his left arm. Koenig returns to his base with his hand bandaged. There he meets Sacha and tells him to give him more info on Vasily, and he does. We cut to Vasily and the rest of his men celebrating at their base. He and Tania start talking and trading jokes, and basically increasing the sexual tension. Meanwhile, Danilov is evidently jealous of Vasily when he cuts up a picture with the both of them while talking to Sacha. He tells Sacha to feed more info to Major Koenig on Vasily's whereabouts so they can set a trap. Meanwhile, Tania goes for Vasily's banana to find out if it's hard. Yeah, it was hard enough to keep them busy for the whole night of clapping. The following day, Vasily tells Danilov that he wants to be a regular soldier and that he is tired of the pressure. This always happens when guys have sex. But Danilov manipulates him using Sacha, revealing that Sacha has been the one feeding them information. Vasily agrees and sets up a trap for Koenig, but he ends up sleeping during the trap. The moral of the story is don't ejaculate before the big match. And then he gets robbed while sleeping, all the while Koenig was watching. Koenig gets called by the base commander, who reveals that Vasily has been proclaimed dead. Seeing that Vasily documents have been found, he suggests that Koenig returns to Germany, going as far as taking away his tag. but Koenig stays. Vasily is proclaimed dead, much to Nikita's chagrin as he berates Danilov, but Danilov reassures him that Vasily is alive. He meets up with Tania, who refuses to believe that Vasily is dead. Meanwhile, Satya is crying before the Major hears about Vasily's demise. Koenig reassures him and tells him that Vasily is alive. He also tells him that Vasily will meet him at a particular spot where he will wait for Vasily. He also tells Satya not to tell anyone about this. But he does. He tells Tania, and Tania runs to look for Vasily. Meanwhile, Vasily returns to Danilov, and finally, Danilov agrees to get him back to his old division. Vasily finds out that Tania had gone looking for him, so he goes to find her, right where Koenig says he'll be. Koenig realizes that Satya is a spy, while Tania and Vasily have a happy reunion where she tells him she loves him. Unknown to them, Danilov was watching, and he returns to the newspapers and starts to write bad things about Vasily. We cut to Koenig finding and apprehending Satya as he ushers him to a particular spot. On the other hand, Tania and Vasily are having a romantic moment until she sees that Satya has been hanged. Tania is frantic, and Vasily promises to get Koenig's rifle for her. We cut to Tania meeting up with Danilov in the heat of the battle, and she asks for his help to evacuate Mrs. Filipov out of Stalingrad by giving her a pass. Danilov lies to Mrs. Filipov, telling her that Satya had defected to Germany and he's never coming back. Mrs. Filipov agrees and even says this might be for the best as they evacuate in the heat of massive gunfire. Suddenly, a massive bomb lands on their spot and ends up wounding Tania. Ms. Filipov gets Tania to a boat and uses her pass to get Tania out of Stalingrad. We cut to Vasily hiding out in a spot waiting for Koenig. Danilov joins him and tells him that he has been a fool and confesses that he has been jealous. He eventually decides to sacrifice himself to help Vasily get to Koenig's position, and he does so despite Vasily's protests. Koenig, thinking that he had successfully shot Vasily, comes out of his hiding spot only to find Vasily waiting for him. Realizing that he is lost, he takes off his hat. Vasily takes him out with a headshot. He takes Koenig's rifle and returns to Danilov's body, giving him the rifle. The scene cuts to 2 months later, to February 3rd, 1943. Germany had started losing the war, and Russia was taking tons of German prisoners. And celebrating, we find Tania in a hospital with dozens of wounded soldiers. While Vasily is at the nurse's desk asking about her. He eventually spots her and strolls to sit on her bed. They smile lovingly at each other. And we cut to black, because you know what will happen next. Another happy ending. Make sure to come back for more.